Welcome to NuttieBuddie Sports. Previewing the LA Rams.
So speaking of Matthew Stafford, let's go ahead and talk about the Los Angeles Rams, the Super Bowl winning Los Angeles Rams. Let's talk about their big question. Let's start with Chad on this one. So I'll just rotate the questions here. Chad, what is the biggest question you have for the LA Rams?
Matthew Stafford's elbow. I think that's a little bit more serious than they're leading on because, Sean McVay never tips his hand. But I think that's a bigger problem than the Rams are letting on.
That's a good one. I'm a little worried about that too. I'm closing my eyes and thinking it's fine. That's what I'm doing at this point, but you might be right. What about you, Talon? What do you got for the biggest question?
Mine's fantasy football related again. I love Cam Akers. I love what he could be, but then they're talking about splitting it, having a running back by committee with Darrell Henderson again. So I'd like to see some clarity on that. I think the running back by committee approach is all right, but I want to see what Cam Akers has left in the tank after the Achilles injury. I want to see a running back come back from that injury finally and prove the doubters wrong. So we know that we've progressed in medicine enough so that injury is no longer taking out star players.
Yeah, Cam Akers was awful in the playoffs last year. Like he averaged less than 3 yards a carry. And I hated Sean McVay's coaching in the playoffs last year. Oh, it was so awful to me. But anyway, let's see here. Jack, what do you got for the big question for the Rams?
Is Allen Robinson a good, not only good, but great wide receiver? He hasn't had the greatest quarterback throwing to him at all in the years he's played in the NFL. Now with Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay, can Allen Robinson show that he is a worthy top receiver in the NFL? That's my biggest question.
My friend Luke, he's a Jaguars fan. He loves Allen Robinson. So he thinks that guy's going to be great with Matthew Stafford. Well, maybe not great. Good. Really good. Go ahead, Clint.
I was going to go with Matthew Stafford's arm, but I'll go with they lost a few pieces on the offensive line. So you combine, can that offensive line hold up with Matthew Stafford already being kind of banged up? Is that a recipe for some short-term disaster where it kind of snowballs on them?
Yeah, that's a good one. I had repeat. Are they going to be able to repeat? I think the conference has, the Rams have sort of taken a little step back, but I think the conference in general has. So it's not so I don't have a favorite in the NFC right now, but have they done enough where they can repeat for a Super Bowl? I have my doubts. They didn't bring back some key pieces that I think helped them on that Super Bowl run, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But that's my big question. It'd be fun to see Matthew Stafford, after all those years as a Detroit Lion, get 2 Super Bowls in a row. Just throwing that out there. He deserves it. Okay, let's go to favorite offseason move. Let's start with Talon on this one. What's your favorite offseason move that the Rams made?
Oh, hands down, getting Allen Robinson. You think about the Rams offense, they've always had the 2 wide receiver punch. There's been Cooper Kupp and either Robert Woods. Well, he's gone now. He was gone due to injury last year. So they replaced him immediately with Odell Beckham Jr. Well, Odell Beckham Jr. went down with injury. Well, the Rams know what works. So what do? They go out and get an elite wide receiver. And yes, I think Allen Robinson is elite. He is older, but I don't think it will matter. The only thing that will hold Allen Robinson back is if Matthew Stafford's elbow is a real deal. And if that's the case, if Matthew Stafford loses it this year to injury, your heart goes out to Allen Robinson. The guy can't catch a break for who's throwing him the football. So I really hope, of course, for Matthew Stafford's career, but also for Allen Robinson's sake, let the guy have a quarterback that can complete balls to him.
Fair. I love that point. Clint, what about you?
Yeah, I would go with Allen Robinson too. The way they acquired him is preferable to it. You're not giving up a ton of draft capital. You're not giving up much to get someone that, should be an improved over Robert Woods with a torn ACL. So I think it's a good move. And, if he can't look good with Matthew Stafford, then maybe he's washed. But like Talon brought out, he really had no one besides the almighty Mitch Trubisky throwing to him. So this should be, a vast improvement for him.
Yep, agreed. What about you, Jack?
I'm going to jump on the bandwagon. Allen Robinson has I've always thought when he was on the market, after the Jaguars, I wanted the Niners to go for him. I wanted the Niners to be able to make a first big move and pay a wide receiver some money, but they just couldn't do it. And he moved on. I still think Allen Robinson's a great wide receiver, and we're going to see that move pay off big.
I hope you're right. Chad?
I can't say Allen Robinson just because you three did, so I'm gonna go different. I'm gonna go Bobby Wagner. I think just his presence in the locker room, even if he's not as ideal on the field, his leadership in that locker room is only going to make that team better. So I'm going to go Bobby Wagner.
Okay, I like it. I also had Allen Robinson. We don't have to talk about it anymore, but good addition. Yeah. Least favorite offseason move. Let's start with you, Jack, on this. What is the least favorite offseason move that the Rams made?
Trading Robert Woods. Robert Woods was amazing. He was an amazing playmaker. I know he got hurt, but they traded him for a 6th-round pick. Are you kidding me? A 6th-round pick? That's embarrassing. To me, as a GM, you're not going to get any value out of that 6th-round pick, what Robert Woods could have given you. So I don't understand the rationalization of that move.
Yeah, that was curious. You think, because when they signed Allen Robinson, you're like, oh man, they got these three. Yeah. Talon.
Yeah, that's a good one, Jack. I'd have to go with losing Von Miller. It's tough. How do you pay all these guys? But the LA Rams find a way to pay all these guys, and you can't find a way to pay the guy that arguably you wouldn't have won the Super Bowl without. And the beautiful part was that Von Miller's older, and he could have just kind of rode the coattails behind Aaron Donald. They packed a great 1-2 punch, and then be like, take it easy all season. And then once the playoffs come, when it matters, unleash him again. And I think if they had Von Miller, there's no reason why they want to go back to the Super Bowl and probably repeat. I think that move is going to hurt them far more than anyone realizes on that team.
Yeah. What do you think, Clint? What's your least favorite move?
I wouldn't say Von Miller because I wouldn't want to pay an old dude that much money anyhow. But Austin Corbett losing that on the line, and also Darius Williams losing, a good slot corner. It's just, they're already a top-heavy team, and you just started eroding some of that depth. So last year they had the problem too, an injury, and we're in trouble. And now, which happens when you win the Super Bowl, guys get paid. So you're just more in a precarious situation if you get an injury on that offensive line, or in the secondary. Now you're, throwing guys out there that are not proven at all. So just their overall depth, I think, they let a few pieces go that they probably couldn't afford, but it adds up.
That's fair. Chad?
I was going to say Robert Woods, but I forgot about them losing Darius Williams. That's a big loss. You lose a slot corner like that in our division and playing the teams that we got to play this year, that is going to show out big. So I'm going to go Darius Williams.
Okay. Yeah. I think he went to Jacksonville, right? So Jaguars will enjoy them. I have two. I actually agree with you, Talon, losing Von Miller. Yes, I don't know if I would want to pay him that money. However, he was very vital in their playoff run. I think he had 4 sacks in 3 games of the in the playoffs, not to mention the pressures he got on quarterback in big moments. That's the thing I always liked about Von Miller. Even if it didn't seem like he always got to the quarterback in high pressured clutch type moments. And I do feel like that could be the difference from them winning the Super Bowl this year and not winning the Super Bowl this year, in my opinion. The other one, Odell Beckham. I've always been kind of like an Odell Beckham fan. They didn't re-sign Odell Beckham, but him and Stafford had some chemistry last year. And we finally saw him get a quarterback that can pass him the football versus Eli Manning / Baker Mayfield. And he looked pretty good. And then he injured himself. he still can be a Ram because he's a free agent. And I would be surprised if he ends up being a Ram, but I really hope the Rams give him a deal and he'll come back to finish out the year once he's healthy with the Rams. So those were the two signings that are missed opportunities that I didn't like that they had this offseason. Okay, let's talk about what will make a season successful. Let's start with Clint. What will make the Rams season successful in your mind for the Rams?
Competing in the playoffs again.
Mhm.
You know, repeat. When you're asking a team to repeat, it's tough, and you feel like if you don't repeat, you failed. But if they can get back, win a playoff game, or get back to the NFC Championship game, you know, that's all you can hope for. You know, I know it sounds kind of lame, but if you can just get close again and show that you have that resolve, you know, if you miss the playoffs, then all right, it's probably turned into a 1-year fluke, and you know, Matthew Stafford doesn't have that much time left. So,
okay, yeah, I like that one. Chad, what about you?
Yeah, keeping the momentum you had from last year. If you can continue to do that, if you can get back to the playoffs and if you can get to the Super Bowl, that would be wonderful. But I think if you keep that momentum that you had, everybody's gunning for you. So they got to stay focused. They're going to get everybody's best punch because they are the Super Bowl champs. So I think they have to just you know, keep the same mental attitude that they've had and stay hungry, you know, because once you win a Super Bowl, you can kind of rest on your laurels a little bit. You know, maybe some guys don't play as hard because they got the ring. If they can stay hungry, yeah, that's going to be successful.
Yeah, I like that point about staying hungry. And that's why I also like that they bring new guys in that are good, because that's how you stay hungry, is by like rotating like the depth in your roster and bringing in guys that haven't tasted that Super Bowl championship. So like Allen Robinson, for instance. Talon, what about you?
Keeping Stafford healthy will make this season a success because they've got the makings of a dynasty, the way they've approached things. But that will come to a crashing halt if Stafford is truly not healthy. And so if they can learn to rely a little bit more on the running game, ask Stafford to do less, and have obviously the defense will make up for those tight games where the offense isn't producing, and then let Stafford kind of ride all season long, and then when he needs to in the playoffs, let him make the tougher throws. But to me, what do you ask for a Super Bowl winning team for them to be successful again, win another Super Bowl? They've got the makings of a dynasty. So I mean, the sky's the limit for them. It's just keeping Stafford healthy.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard though, because like we were talking about how tough this division is and some of the schedule that they have. It's hard, like even with Debo, how do you not use him to the full and still, you know what I'm saying? Stafford the same way. How do you not? You're gonna have to at some point. But yeah, it'd be nice if they can get that run game going. Jack, what about you?
Yeah, they need to win 4 division games for them to be successful for me, you know, because when the Niners swept them twice, you could see that the whole team, it got in their head. They weren't as confident going in the playoffs than they should be, you know, and they made it to the Super Bowl. They were fine. But in the regular season, you have to get those division games. You've got to build confidence in the locker room. And you have to sweep the Seahawks, and you got to beat the Cardinals and Niners at least once. For me, that's going to be a successful season.
Okay, yeah, and then they probably win the division that way as well. And so I'm kind of like with Clint, just play good enough in the playoffs to show that get to the playoffs, show it wasn't a fluke. It's hard to repeat in the NFL. That's why very few teams do it. Like it rarely happens. I mean, as great as the Patriots were, they only repeated once in their little dynasty run. So it's just really little. It's like 25 years or whatever. But anyway, so I think for the Rams to have a successful season, maybe win the division, but mostly get to the playoffs, play competitively, and I think that will be a success. That's where I'm at. And Sean McVay, stay out of your own way. When in doubt, just give Stafford the ball. Don't be running the ball so somebody can fumble the ball. Like, just give Stafford the ball and get out of the way. Okay. Any other questions with the Rams? Okay. Go ahead, Jack.
Sorry, not really a question, but you can see the league as a copycat league because Sean McVay went out and got his quarterback. And we can see the Niners basically panicked. Kyle Shanahan wanted his quarterback. He wanted Stafford really bad. He was literally 6 hours away from getting Stafford. McVay beat him to the punch. And so Shanahan was on the hot seat and he basically got his quarterback. He got Trey Lance. And you can kind of see the rest of the league seeing you weren't happy with Goff, who took you to the Super Bowl, and you got a quarterback who got you to the next step, and that's win a Super Bowl. And we can see Shanahan trying to do the same thing with Lance. So just a thought, the Rams and what McVay has done, the rest of the league is going to try to follow. We're going to see maybe some moves we've never seen before in trying to acquire a quarterback.
Yeah, we've kind of already seen that kind of taking place too, like making big swings like Matt Ryan. I know that ain't like a big, but he 3rd round pick for him. Bunch of people. I wouldn't be surprised like Aaron Rodgers get traded next year, honestly, because the Packers, I don't know what they're doing. Anyway, let's see here. Predictions over under. They have 10.5 wins for the Rams. What do you got, Chad, for us? Over under 10.5, 10.5.
Under 10.
Okay. Clint?
So I'm going to make a change. I wrote down originally over, and I was going to say 11. I was going to go 11. Then you insulted me. And then, then I looked at their schedule similar to Chad. And after they have a week 7 bye, and their schedule goes 49ers, Buccaneers, Cardinals, Saints, Chiefs, bye week. Seahawks, Raiders, Packers, Broncos, Chargers, bye week. Seahawks. So that 8 weeks, that is a brutal stretch with 2 bye weeks in there. So they have 3 bye weeks this year. But that looking at that and Stafford, possibly getting hurt more and more, and he doesn't have the Eagles on here, so he doesn't have a free interception against Whiskey Tart. So I'm going to go under and go with 10. I just summed up all my trolling into 1 minute. I couldn't help myself. You guys have baited me all day. I had to go with it.
Okay, Talon's going to text me next time I invite him onto the podcast. He'll be like, "Is that jerk going to be on, Clint?" And I'm going to be like, yeah. Why? He's like, "I'm not joining if he's going to be on." No,
I don't even think I'm going to add that phone number to my contacts, honestly. That's in the group chat. I'm going to block that number.
That's a good idea. What do you got, Talon? Over or under wins?
Yeah, it's so funny. I was gonna be like, here's the surprise take, but you guys have it already. I'm gonna say under at 10 as well. It's a tough schedule, and I don't trust Matthew Stafford's health. I really don't. So unfortunately, I don't see them winning the division, and maybe 10 wins gets to the playoffs. The NFC is not too strong, but yeah, it's gonna be a downgrade for sure.
Jack?
Yeah, I agree with the guys. For them to be successful, they should win the division, but I think they're not going to, and it's going to be under at 10.
Okay. So you guys continue to doubt Stafford. Obviously, health may be a problem, but I just try to do as if like the roster stay throughout the year. Otherwise, you can't predict injury. Here's over. I got 11-6. I think they're 11-12 win team. You already mentioned all the buys that they had, Clint, right? So when you have that many buys, and then like what if you can split the rest of those games, it's not going to be that like it'll be complex, right? It'll be a tough stretch, but I bet they can split half those games. I just don't know. I just don't see how, if Stafford's healthy with Kupp and Allen, how that offense doesn't continue just to deal. So I'm gonna go over. You guys doubt Stafford. I got my guy. You got something to add there, Talon?
Yeah, I do. I just think the Seahawks haven't been at the bottom of the division in a long time. But what I know is this, that even when the Rams were at the bottom, they still would give us fits. It was still like a dreadful game. Even when the Niners were at the bottom, it was still a dreadful game to play. Even when the Cardinals were at the bottom, still a dreadful game to play. I know it looks easy to bag on the Seahawks, but we're gonna put up fights against the whole division. whether or not we win or not, it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be fun playing us because we got nothing to lose, and teams that have nothing to lose make you hurt after playing. So last words from Talon, the Seahawks fan.
No, you're right. I was just joking. I don't. Yeah, no. Division rivals are always tough, like in any division, but even like in the West, it's pretty tough, you know. And Jeff Fisher was the coach, right? That gave Seahawks fits for some reason. I don't know how, but anyway. Thanks so much for watching this clip of NuttieBuddie Sports. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you'd like to listen to the rest of the podcast, click on one of the links down below. And if you want to give us your thoughts on any team in any division, let us know in the comments down below. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Thanks so much for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we will talk to you guys soon.